Hey guys, Dan Rawich here. Happy Monday. Hope you guys, hope your week's off to a good start. Let's just jump right in here, okay? So I'm going to start with the market update. I think that's a better flow. So the market is continuing to just literally go nowhere. And you can see here when we look at the S&P, actually looks at the SPX, we're in that same area. Now we did break above 4,200 just for a little while, but we closed below it. So that's a fairly bearish act. And I have some, when you look at the options flow and whatnot, I think you'll get the feel that we're not totally out of the woods here. So let's start here. You can see again with these high heat scores, they get lower and lower as you scroll. But I'm most concerned with, the top 20 or 30. And again, it's almost all puts. This time there are 4 calls, and there's a couple golden sweep calls that came across. So that's, potentially bullish. You can see the market closed kind of on a negative. And also you can see that the trends are all a lot more red than green. These are more puts than calls. And the dark pool stuff, 418.70 was a really key level. And we did, let's see, I think I can pull that up here. Right here. So you can see how these dark pools really matter. And understanding them will really help keep you out of trouble and really help you know when to go in, when to go out, and when not to be too creative. So this level did hold today, but we didn't close all that far from it. In fact, we closed on it. So tomorrow could be really interesting. So we talked about dark pools. Then we have the option flow. Sorry, waiting. And you can see it was pretty red all day long. It tried to climb up here toward the end of the day. I haven't really looked at the longer time frames yet, but I think they're all pretty red. How long are you going to take? Oh, it already switched. So you can tell it started off green and then it just fell apart. This is just really bearish. And by the way, the calls to puts. So that means for every put, there's only 4/10 of a call. That's not a great ratio. And the dealers are still hedging very, very much in a way that they would hedge if they're short. I would say a little less hedging here today. That could be good. I'm still surprised that the market has not fallen, even though we have all these dealer hedges up here, because as I pointed out, usually when the dealer hedges get up here green, the market falls. Green, fall, green, fall, green, fall, green, fall, green. What? Nothing. And then last but not least, we have our GEX. And this white bar is where the big GEX exposure is, and it's negative, and that's at 418. Remember where we closed, right about that level. So I think the market's going to struggle to get traction above this. If it does get above it, it's going to have some problems at 422. All right, moving on to our time cycle data. It's neutral still, but you can see the Dow, this magenta line is just straight on down. It's beginning to pull the white line down, which is the intermediate. This is the long trend. Magenta is the intermediate trend. And then the Qs just continue to be stuck right in the upper reversal zone. They can't go anywhere from up here. There's only one, doesn't go past 100. And so what keeps happening is we keep bumping along here and it's creating chop, cross market chop. Last but not least, the SPY actually, you can see if you squint a little bit, it's starting to turn up. It actually was turning up. Now it might be turning a little more sideways. And you can see the long term starting to trend down. That's chop. And then lastly, on the time cycles, we still have this little dip before the projections start taking us up higher. And then the last thing, and then we'll go over the trades, is the big money guys. And I'd say combination of on the sideline to selling. You can see here the BMI dropped again yesterday, or Friday, sorry. And as you scroll up here, you can see there's more selling than buying going on. It wasn't a huge difference, but once again, it's just you've got big money not knowing what to do. All right, on to our trades. We had an amazing day. The group did better than I did just because I didn't really trade all that much. I'm going to pull this up here. So again, and if you don't have this link, just ask for it. This is every single trade, every single day, pretty much in real time. And you can see they're all logged. They were all wins. I took only a few today. Lee took 9, and Lee went, ready for this, 9-0 for a total of $92 a contract. He trades 20. That's an $1,800 payday for him. I made 15. I typically trade 40, although I was not today. And that would have been a $600 day. I'm kind of the last throes, I think, of this COVID for the 4th time. And I just got a little bit of brain fog. That's why I'm just not trading as much, and I'm trading lightly. And if the brain fog doesn't go away tomorrow, I might actually paper trade. We'll see. I can still lead the group into trades even though I'm paper trading. And I don't know if I'm going to do that. We'll see how I feel. Okay, now, is this the one? Yes. Let's go back to the morning. I marked off several trades. Most of these are Lee's for reasons that I already discussed. And so the first trade Lee took was at 7:02 this morning. And it doesn't get any better than this. We had our sell signal already in place. We'd like it to come to the 50. It did. And then Lee just waited, as he should, for that chop index to drop. In and out one candle, just beautiful. And then just a few minutes later, same exact thing happened. It broke below this level. We already had a sell signal in place, and the chop index came down just perfectly, in and out in 2 candles. These were pretty big gains. And then next trade, again, sell signals going on up here. We're waiting for a level break. By the way, a lot of these could be entered much sooner. For instance, this sell signal occurred here, and all we really need to do is clear the nearest wick or the dot, if there's a dot there. And so what that means is this candle right here is the one that you could have gone in on, and that had a nice big drop in the chop index. But waiting for confirmation. When these moves do what they do, it doesn't matter if we miss the first half or even 2/3. We're looking for the meat of the move, as I've told you guys, and we try to be out within just a couple of candles. Next trade came in at 7:57, and same story. The bear signal was fresh right here. We waited till it cleared the dot, which it did. The chop index dropped right here, in and out the same candle. This was a good one that you got to fast out on because it did end up making a V bottom. And then I think there's 2 more I'm going to show you. And then 8:42, and you can see the bear signal triggered up here. We're just waiting to clear the dot, which is, did I just do this one? No. So valid entry was right here where the chop dropped and everything came together. He waited for 2 candles to confirm. That's great. And in and out in 3 or 4 candles. Beautiful move. And I think we have one more to show you. This one was bullish. We had the bull signal here. So keep in mind that when you get a bull signal, you need to clear the nearest dot. So I'm just going to move this up to the dot. And you can see that it cleared on this candle. And the chop index dropped in and out in 2 candles. So are you guys seeing this? It really is as easy as it looks. We work a lot with mindset, because if you're not nailing these, for the most part, it's probably a little bit of a mindset fear FOMO, something going on. If you're having that challenge, obviously reach out. We can help you. Last thing I wanted to show you was our last week's stock picks, and I'm going to give these to anybody that wants them. But so every Sunday night we put out a video. If you want it, send me a note and just say I want the video. And it's pretty powerful. It goes through the economy, goes through the stock market, and I give usually 6 to 8 stock picks. And just to give you an idea how those go, I think you'll be impressed. I hope you'll be impressed. Whoops. Where's there it is. So these were the stocks that I picked on Sunday the 14th. So this was last week's picks. We run these from usually Monday to Friday. You can see, and I'll show you in a second, but I give a level, and I suggest not going into the stock until that level is broken. Once it's broken, you can enter this trade. And you can see this week, 6 out of 7 of our trades triggered, and they all made money. Almost 5% for the week, guys. And if you trade the options, for $847 for a single contract, you would have ended up with $1,650. Almost an $800 profit in just a few days. So that's 194% gain. This is why we love options. With a measly amount, $847, you made $800 for the week. If you would have traded 10 contracts, which would take about $8,000, that's for all of these. You would have made $8,000. Not too bad. So quickly, I'm going to go through this week's for you, and you can make a note of these, or you can ask me for the slides. Let's go here. I keep these in a folder every week. Okay. So the way it works is I draw a line and I tell you, enter above the line or below the line. We typically, because these are not day trades or scalps, these are swing trades. We're usually in these from 2 to 5 days. And the idea is when it crosses the line that I give you, you go in. And you can see in this case, it crossed this morning about 3 hours after the market opened. Everything else was exactly the way we like it. And this thing ran up to 30.45. And it's still kind of settled back down here. So this one still looks like a pretty good play. I could see going into Intel tomorrow. I might like to see it get above here now, 30.30, just to make double sure. Apps, I believe, also triggered. My target was 14.10, and you can see it cleared that level at 7:30 this morning. And it's still it's not that far away. These haven't moved that much. This is the target for apps, and this is the target for Intel. So we still have a long ways to go. I'm still pretty bullish on these picks. Snap also triggered, and then Snap came back for a retest of this line. So if Snap gets a bull signal, definitely going to want to go in it if it stays above 975. DraftKings, it triggered here at 24.45. It ran up to 26.40. That was a $2 move, guys. $100 per contract. This alone would have made you a pretty good day, if not a pretty good week, depending on how many contracts. It then reversed, gave us a sell signal. But even when the sell signal came, we still were up well above our entry point. Our entry point was all the way down here. So it went right through its target, gave you an exit signal, and came back down to the target. That's a pretty good move. Dutch Brothers also, Dutch Brothers hasn't quite triggered. It has to get above 29. If it closes above 29 on the 1 hour candle, and then the next candle opens up above it, you go in. Pelotar, Hasn't triggered yet. Has to get above 1240-ish. And I believe Kroger's did. Yep, Kroger's, the level was 49.70. You can see it breached the level on the opening candle, and it ran to 50.36. So that was already a pretty good gain. I think there's more in this move. I would not think twice about entering Kroger's at this point. Now, you could wait for a pullback and a new signal, but these lines don't go away. Anytime this week, if you can buy it around this line, unless it's like ran up here and then it crashes down through it, that's called catching a falling knife. I don't want you to do that. But if it kind of comes up, pulls back gently, and then you get a new bull signal, that's how you know it's a pullback. You get a new bull signal, and then you go in. All right, guys, this was pretty lengthy. I'm going to call it quits here. And if you have any questions, reach out. Dan, universityofoptions.com.